Hey guys, so it's definitely been a long time since my last update on Lucas and his therapy sessions. So I thought I'd sit down today and just kind of go over what's been going on. We've had a few little changes here and there, but he's still progressing really great. So let me just share with you what's going on. Like I said before, if you watched any of my previous videos, he sees a director, a speech therapist, and an occupational therapist. So the occupational therapist went on maternity leave, so we had to get a substitute OT until she returns. And also the director was redirected to the south side of our city, so she wasn't in our area anymore, so we had to get a brand new director. So with the director, she just overviews what Lucas has been doing, you know, is he making good progress? And she's also really good about suggesting new things of what we should do. So something she suggested was to get down at Lucas's level and with certain words that he's still not saying, and just repeat those words she said about 3 or 4 times, and then if he tries to say it or he seems like he is, then move on to that certain object. But I've actually, I've been doing for a long time anyway, so that was a nice reassurance of something I've already been doing, but she just kind of mentioned it. But overall, like I've said in the past, the director is always really pleased with what she's seeing, and Lucas is slowly getting better, you know, each month. It's definitely a slow process trying to teach your child how to say words, how to do certain things, so definitely don't get frustrated. It takes a while. Like I said, I believe we are almost on month 8, or we might be on month 8. Anyway, we're getting close to that year mark, and even though he's not saying, 200 words, he still is doing an excellent job. About every few weeks, he'll just pop out a new word, and it's like, awesome, Lucas. It's definitely a slow process, but I'm really glad that we've moved along how we were at the beginning to where we are now. Okay, so I'll move on to the OT, which is the occupational therapist. Like I said, she went on maternity leave, and we were so devastated because we loved her so much. And the new OT, I mean, she's okay. She knows what she's doing, don't get me wrong on that, but this might sound weird, but our other people were just kind of like down to earth, and I don't know if it's just because they've been coming over for so long, but the new OT, she's very bubbly and just kind of like over the top sometimes, and she'll do stuff, and I'm like, maybe you should calm down on Lucas a little bit. But like I said, she knows what she's doing, and she's doing a great job. It's just, when you're with someone for 5 or 6 months and then you have to get a substitute for a couple of months, it's kind of, you just get in this groove and you're like, me, you don't want this new person. Anyway, it could just be me, but like I said, she's very, very overly bubbly sometimes. It's just funny, but we are definitely ready for our old OT to come back. She should be coming back in a few months. I'd say maybe another 2 months or so, and she should be off of maternity leave, so we'll definitely enjoy her when she comes back. But with the OT, so the new OT brought in some newer items, so to speak, of messy play. And if you've watched any of my DIY videos, I did a little messy play stuff. And then there's also this stuff, I think it's called Boober, B-U-B-B-E-R, Boober. I think that's how you say it. Anyway, she mentioned it to me, and I found it on Amazon, and I've made Lucas a few new things first, and I want to kind of like wait a few months. I don't want to introduce 5 new things and he just get overwhelmed. So I'm like, okay, I'll just make this stuff with the rice and beans right now, and I'll wait a few months, and then I'll order this stuff off Amazon. Anyway, like I said, Boober, I think I'm saying that right. It's like Play-Doh, but not, if that makes sense. Anyway, I can definitely put a link down below to the Boober stuff if you wanted to check it out. But anyway, she puts it on this tray, and then he learns how to like cut and like really just get into it. And she said hopefully this will kind of help him want to eat more, because he's still a really big picker when it comes to food. And anyway, she was just saying, let's go with this. That way, if he can kind of get his hands dirty with the rice or the boober or whatever that maybe, during lunch and dinner time, he'll want to kind of get in and just try new things. Now I will say, you know, let's say he's at 0% of being picky with foods. I'd say he's moved up to about 15-20% better of actually trying foods. So it's a little progress, but he's doing much better. So a lot of times we will put food out, and I don't like to make separate foods for Lucas. I want him to learn and understand, hey, you know, Mama made this dinner and you at least need to try it. And if you don't like it, then I might fix you something else. But trying it, you know, you have to at least try it. What we've noticed is if it's something he doesn't like, I'll still fix a good little small portion on his plate, put it down, and then he'll look at us and he'll go, mm-mm. And I'm like, I'm sorry, Lucas, that's dinner. And then he'll walk away and kind of get upset. But it's funny because about half of the time, like 2 hours later, I leave it there, and then sometimes I might, you know, have to heat it up or whatnot, but he'll ask for a snack, and I'm like, no sir, you have, you know, dinner on the table that Mommy made you earlier, so whatnot, if I need to go heat it back up or whatever, I'll just quickly go do that while he's not looking, and then I'll put it back on the table, and lo and behold, he'll go over there while we're not looking at him, while we're on the couch, while we're in a different room or something, and he's like, and he'll pick it up. And he might not like it, but he picks it up and actually tries it. So it's kind of funny. I don't know why he, you know, maybe because we're all sitting at the table when we're eating dinner, but I've noticed with the messy play with the OT has kind of helped much better with the food interaction. Even if it's 2 hours later after dinner, he's still at least 15-20% of the time tries his food now, and that's all I want, for him to at least try food. And lastly is the speech therapist, which is the main therapist of why we're doing all this in the first place. And she actually just asked if she could add on a session in the month. So instead of 2 sessions a month, now we are doing 3 sessions a month. And she was like, don't worry, this isn't because he's fallen back or anything, but because he's 2.5, or pretty close to 2.5, she feels like he's a little older, so his expansion in his mind, she basically was like, you know, I just want to click in another session to help him kind of redirect him, you know, because sometimes she would come 1 week and then 2 weeks later she'd come and then we might not see her for a whole month. So she was like, this way I could try to come a little more often in a way so he might kind of stick with things. Anyway, if you are doing speech therapy and your therapist actually adds, you know, make sure they explain to you, because it's definitely not a bad thing like she was explaining. It's just he's getting older. So she thinks coming more frequently, so to speak, for the 3 sessions is a little better for him. So the therapist has really done well with some new words. So he says balloon, but he kind of adds, I think, an extra syllable. So he'll say, look, a balloon. So it's really, really funny. I'll have to see if I can get it on camera. But you should follow me on Instagram, because I try to, when he says new words, I try to put it in little Insta stories or whatnot. So definitely follow me on Instagram if you want to watch Lucas learn his little speech words and whatnot. But anyway, that one's a new one. He's gained a few more animal sounds. I've kind of lost count because he's really got a good collection of animal sounds that he's going with. He's much better about answering you. I think he's understanding yes more now, but I don't think he understands to say yes or to kind of like, you know, hey, I'm saying yes. Because like once in a blue moon, if he wants something, he'll kind of you know, but not really saying yes or symbolizing that he's saying yes. But he's got that no down. He doesn't say no, but if he doesn't want something, so that's pretty funny that he does that. And of course I can't really think of any other words that he's saying, but overall his repeating, it's not 100%, but definitely, you know, in the beginning he would not repeat anything, but randomly we'll say something and he's like, oh, blah, blah, and he'll kind of try to repeat it, and I'm like, okay. So So he's come a long way with repeating words, which is really great. I think that's pretty much gonna wrap up about the therapy sessions of what's been going on lately. And I'm really proud at how far he's come. I think I say that in every video, but it's just amazing how, you know, you'll go 2 weeks and it's like you feel like nothing's being accomplished, and then all of a sudden he'll say a new sound, say a new word, or repeat something, you know, and it's like, yay, this is really, you know, worth it all in the end, even though it feels like it's just nothing's gonna happen sometimes. But I think he's really doing great, and overall he's awesome. He's really coming along. So thanks so much for following along in Lucas's therapy sessions, and we hope to see you in the next videos. Bye guys.